Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 54-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off, I broke up with Damon for the final time, my first serious relationship, and it came to an end for the final time. I did wish him, I wished him a better life than I could give him, is what it boiled down to. And I let him know that, I loved him dearly, but I wanted him to have more out of life. I wanted him to have a wife and kids and the whole 9 yards. And he did go off, and he had a wife, and he had 3 kids, and he always stayed in my life. He would reach out to me periodically over the years, and every time he would reach out, he would tell me, I still love you. It still should have been us. I love my kids and all that, but it should have been me and you. And the last time I spoke to Damon, back in 2019, he asked me to run away with him. And I said, no. I said, Damon, we were kids back then, honey. You can't turn back time. You just can't turn back the clock. So Damon passed away from a heart attack in 2019 at 48 years old. And he will forever have a special place in my heart. So after he and I broke up, I know that's a little heavy. After he and I broke up, Terry and I were hanging out in the Roundup, and this little cute guy from Baton Rouge came into the bar. He had come into town, and he was hustling at the bar, trying to make money, and he was just enamored with me and Terry. Terry and I'm 5'6", and Terry was about my height. We were both about 5'6". She was a size 3, I was a size 5. We were very petite, little blonde, young things. And we got a lot of attention together. And this little guy, he paid us a lot of attention. Yeah. His name was Chad. And Chad, we made him an offer. If you want to be with us, you can be our houseboy. Yeah. We said you could be our houseboy. With rules. And he agreed. Listen, he agreed, honey. He signed on an agreement that if one of us felt like having sex with him, that was the one that he went with. We would pass him back and forth if we felt like it. I'm not saying this like cocky. I'm not being cocky about this. It's just what it was. And another rule was whenever Terry and I went shopping, which was on a real regular basis, he had to come with us, and he had to walk 5 feet behind us at all times and carry all of our bags. And he was only allowed to speak to us in public if we spoke to him first. And if we went to a restaurant for lunch, we would sit at one table, and he had to sit at the next table and pretend like he wasn't with us and keep all of our bags and everything with him at the other table and eat by himself. Yeah, I don't know what power trip we were on. Listen, it was obviously a big old power trip that we were on, but that's what it was. And the thing was, this little dude, he took a real liking to me, and I was actually kind of crushing on another guy named Walker, who my ex Damon had introduced me to when he had come back to town. He had been buddying around with this guy Walker. Bobby Joe knew Walker too, but not in a good way, and I didn't know that at that time. But yeah, so I was crushing on Walker, so I really didn't want Chad. Really didn't want him. But he decided he wanted me, and he told me and Terry that he wanted to be with me, like in a relationship, after being our houseboy and being passed back and forth like a toy. Yeah, I didn't know what else to say, y'all. So I said, listen, if you go and you run along, and if you can go make $1,000 and put it in my hands to show me you're serious about being my boyfriend, then sure, I'll let you be my boyfriend. And he was like, "Are you serious? Really?" Like, he was, he was a teenager too, but he was not streetwise like we were. And, he was like, "Really? Seriously?" And I said, "Sure, if you can make $1,000. I didn't ever think in a million years that this boy could make $1,000, right? So I said, "Sure, if you can make $1,000, honey, you go make it and I'll be your big old girlfriend. Yeah, we'll have a good old relationship." Thinking I was getting rid of him. So, about a week later, and I'm thinking he's gone, I'm flirting at the bar with Walker, and Walker's flirting back with me. And who pops up in my job? Chad comes back to town. He had disappeared. He left town, and I thought he was gone. Yeah, he went away all right. Went away to go make that money. And he did. He made the full $1,000 and put it in my hand at my job and was like, "Okay, now can we be in a relationship?" And if y'all want to know what I did, y'all know the routine. Be here tomorrow and I will too. I love you all. Love you all for watching and love you for commenting. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.